Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be out here this afternoon and bring this message of emancipation to you, a message that will set you free if you would only look inwardly to discover your true identity to be your divinity. That's the reason why I always bring this message of self-realization to you and teaching you that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is the Bible secular history, and that it was written symbolically. Also, I teach you that the Bible have no reference to anyone that existed thousands of years ago and to any actual event that took place upon earth thousands of years ago. But for the benefit of those who believe that the Bible is literal and that it is secular history, and that there was a man who existed 2,000 years ago, having born from a virgin down below, I just want to use little logic for you to think so that you will be able to exercise your mind. So I want to ask this question, and I want to speak on the theme of wet dream, and did Jesus have them? Okay, now I can remember quite vividly as a young man growing up that I would have never had the experience until a certain time. I remember that I wake up the morning and I had on an underwear. It was a white underwear. I had this white underwear that I loved so much that I used to even sleep in it. I would wear it, I would sleep in it. I can't remember if I was 11 or 12 years old at the time. I was a young boy at the time. And I remember, you know, in the night I had this kind of weird, sweet, enjoyable dream. But I didn't really remember the dream. But in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, I saw my mother was just staring at that area and watching that area. And I was like, what is she really looking at, you know? So then I looked down, and when I looked down, I saw what appeared to be like some little islands. You know, when you look at the wall map and see the little islands, how they print out, and see all of those print out, and my white underwear, then I realized what was really taking place in my life as a young man. So let us look at this person that they are talking about called Jesus, because to be honest with you, I do not believe in such person that ever exists, okay? Because I teach the Bible is psychological. I teach everything is a psychological drama from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22. But for those who believe that is literal, let's look at it. It is said that Jesus was tempted in every way that a man was tempted. And then it also says that he was 100% man and he was God in flesh. I actually believe that I am God in flesh also, okay? Anyway, now, every child that born from a woman has to go through different stages in life, and they have to come to the adolescent stage. So then my question to those who believe that the Bible is literal, and those who actually believe that Jesus exists, because there are people who would say to me, I believe everything what you're saying, everything that you're saying, it makes sense to me. But one thing I can't believe, one thing I can't accept from you, is when you say that Jesus never exists. They can't understand when I say it's just a personification of the human imagination. Most people struggle with that. So we have to ask yourself the question, did he have wet dream? Then you have to ask yourself why it is not written that he had wet dreams. Did he have sex, and why it wasn't written that he had sex? Or was he a homosexual? Because they say one of the disciples will lay head and his shoulder, if it is literal. And anyone who knows of someone, let's say a male, and they never seen that male with any female, and just males all around that man, most likely society gonna brand him to probably weird, either homosexual or something like that. Okay, so these are questions we have to ask, especially because religious people get offended when you ask them this question: did Jesus get wet dream? Did he know what it's like to have an erection and have an emission? Did he know what it means to have a sexual orgasm or a discharge? These are things people have to ask themselves before they fill their mind with all of this belief and superstition. So I'm just throwing that out there for anyone who believes that the Bible is literal and believe that the Bible is secular history. Then you go have to ask yourself the question, if he ever was involved in masturbation. Then you can't tell me he was different, because if he was tempted in every way that we were tempted, and he had to come and die for us, and he had to bear our infirmities, then he had to go through everything that we went through. But my brothers and my sisters, the Bible is your own biography. It is teaching you of what you will go through before you discover your higher self, your Christ self. Before you can know your true essence, know who you are. So my brothers and my sisters, you know, that one there, I'm just throwing that out, you know, as a little exercise to get people to really think, especially people who are religious and who don't want to be logical. Because many times people don't want to be logical, because if they be logical, okay, it will go against the fabric of their belief. Because many people, they grow up and they make certain belief and they never question the belief. So when someone comes now and is showing logic to prove that their belief is very much idiotic, they get offended because they never question their belief. Because when we look back to the birth of a child and we look at our own selves, when you were a month old, you didn't know you exist. When you were 2 months old, you didn't know you exist. So basically, you come into this world in a state of amnesia, a state of forgetfulness. So everything that you ever learn, you learn from your parents, your teachers, and so on. So, my brother and my sisters, do not let anyone tell you that the things that were taught to you from your parents to your time right now of existence, that it is true when you have never proven anything for yourself. There are many people who always want to talk about Jesus. They can't show me Jesus. They can't show me nothing in the Bible and not show me the human mind. It is impossible, because every action is stemmed from a thought. So my brothers and my sisters, that's just a question I'm putting out there for anyone who's religious and wouldn't keep their tongue bridled. We want to know, did Jesus had, if he did exist, did he have wet dreams? Like all young men just go through a stage in their life when they will experience a wet dream. So that's a question, and I'm looking forward to hear what others have to say, especially those who believe that the Bible is literal and believe that the Bible is secular history. That's a question for you. And there are many, many, many more questions that I would like to ask those who believe that the Bible is literal and that the Bible is secular history. And also, let me just end here by saying, if one person who believes that the Bible is literal and that the Bible is secular history can tell me of one thing that was done in the Bible, whether good or evil, that wasn't forced mental or psychological, that wasn't forced a thought, then they would prove me wrong when I say that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. So with that being said, I want to thank you all very much. And I want to encourage you, if what I'm saying, if it's resonating with you and you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to like, to comment. Also, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you is the single eye. The single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 teaches you that if your eye be single, your whole body would be full of light. And that single eye is speaking of an eye that is in you, the supernatural eye, the eye of God, because God is your own human imagination, the creator in man, from which everything comes. Thus the reason why everything that was made was first imagined, and everything else that ever going to be made must first imagine. Also, that's the reason why there's only one creative power, and the only creative power there is in the world is the power of imagining. Thus the reason why, my brother and my sister, when you look around, all the great inventions, they never came from a Christian or a religious person. Never. So with that being said, you know, I could go on and on and on and on, but I just want to encourage you to continue to believe this message of self-realization. And I normally put my hand right above my crown chakra and give you the symbol of the single eye to let you know that when you get the experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that is the dawning of a new day in your life. And that the Son, as in the S-U-N, is the giver of all life. And that when you see the sun, the moon, the stars, all these things, you're beholding an outer projection of what is within you. For the kingdom is within you. And that is Luke 17:21. And when you discover the kingdom force, all other things will be added unto you, which means you will discover the secret of creation, and you'll be able to create your reality consciously, because you will come to realize that basically it is your thoughts that is creating your reality. And then you will see that the whole story that they teach you of Jesus Christ as being the Son, as in the S-O-N, and tell you that he's the light of the world, you will come to realize it have to be a lie, because there's no S-O-N that could exist without there first be a S-U-N. So with all of that being said, my brother, my sister, my encouragement to you is to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your creative power, because the sun is what powers all of humanity. Therefore, use that power to unveil your creativity to bring value to the rest of humanity. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, out.